My name is Jonathan Lyons, and I am not in control. I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, and from an early age, I was a very devout Catholic, went to church, and felt close to God. I can still remember being 9 years old and sitting in the pew when the pastor would be giving the homily, and I would feel that he was speaking directly to me. It was amazing. From that early age, I felt the pull of God, not only in church, but in my daily life. As I grew older, I began to focus more on sports and academics. Went to high school at an awesome high school, and where I would take communion every day before lunch. I also lectured and was an altar server while I was in high school, and constantly felt a tug to be able to take care of those people who were less fortunate. I moved on to college. In college, I played baseball. There, my faith compass was broken. I put God in the passenger seat and sometimes in the trunk. Sure, I would go to Mass on Sundays, but my prayers were not authentic. They were more about winning baseball games and throwing strikes more than anything. God blessed me with the ability to be able to throw hard, and I signed with the Boston Red Sox. Throughout that career, I had many ups and downs, but specifically, what I did was I took control, more control. It wasn't until my 5th year in my minor league career that I knew I needed some help. I couldn't do it alone. After baseball, I started a family, and I had a plan. My plan was I was going to work hard, be a good guy, go to church, and everything would be right in the world. It wasn't until my 3rd child, Susanna, who was 4 weeks old, came down with a bad sickness. I can still remember sitting in the hospital, holding her in my arms, and she was dying. The ambulance took her downtown, and I went straight to the church. I got on my knees to pray, and I told God that I would surrender the rest of my life to Him if He would just save her. Little did I know at that very moment, as the ambulance was on its way down to Le Bonheur Children's Hospital, that all of my daughter's vital signs came back into full swing. Even the paramedics told my wife that they'd never seen this happen before. Usually children get sicker in the ambulance. As I finished and drove downtown and walked into the room where my daughter was with my wife was holding her for the first time in 2 days as she was drinking a bottle. I knew at that moment that God had answered my prayer, and I knew at that moment that I had surrendered my life. He led me to godly men, retreats, and scripture. In the book of Matthew, I read where basically God clothes the birds of the air. Would He not take care of me? I knew He would. At that point, I realized there was no reason to worry. I went deeper by going to weekly adoration, and I helped start a Fishers of Men's group at St. Louis Parish. Even though I was following the steps that God placed in front of me, I was actually running away. I was scared. Mentally, I was thinking, why am I worthy to be able to be a follower of Christ? Who am I to be able to lead other men to Him? That all changed when I attended my Cursillo weekend. During that time, I realized my purpose. My true purpose was to be able to bring my family and others around me closer to Christ. God has shown me that I am not in control, and I never was. He is the only way to true peace and purpose. I had to live through the sufferings and anxieties of life in order to truly understand God's grace. He is mighty, and now I see Him daily in my life. I no longer just see myself or hope in myself. My hope is in Him. I have been blessed to be able to have in my life great Catholic Christian men who not only encourage me, but give me guidance. I also have an awesome wife, and along with these men, they encourage me to be able to go out to be able to bring others to Christ. Through all of these events and people, I am being constantly refined into what He wants me to be. This journey from my way to His way is a process. It's not always pretty and painless. I still get very busy, try to take control, and have a hard time not being able to strive. In the past, I used to place my hope in myself and what I could do, and now I place my hope and faith in God. When I truly give up control now, there is no longer sufferings and anxieties. There is only a peace and love that I've never experienced before.